Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome to a new video. In today's video, I'm sharing with you 25 different healthy hacks that you can do that are not only going to make your life easier, but make it easier to live a healthy life. Win-win. If you're new, my name is Liv, and I make lots of healthy recipe, lifestyle, and wellness videos on this channel. I'm a naturopathic intern, which means I see patients during the week, and yeah, it's super fun, and I love sharing all of my tips, tricks, and recipes with you guys. So let's go ahead and get right in. So the first tip is to switch to unsweetened nut milks. I see a lot of people making a switch to nut milks, which is great, but a lot of the time you don't realize that there's a lot of added sugar into them, because first of all, why are we adding sugar? So buying unsweetened, at least that way you can control the sugar, and if you're weaning yourself off, you know exactly how much is going into it. But always reach and look for the ingredients in your nut milk. My current favorite one is the Elmhurst brand. There's only 2 ingredients in this: filtered water and walnuts. They also do cashew, they do almond, they do a lot of it, but you want to look for unsweetened. My next tip is to start using Himalayan salt as your staple salt. If you've watched pretty much any of my videos, Himalayan salt is my staple salt, and that's because it is full of electrolytes. So it has trace minerals and vitamins in it that are going to be good for you and good for your food. So it's better for you than your standard table salt. So this is just what I use in all my recipes, and it's just an easy way to get more health into your food without making a huge change. So you can even get it on Amazon, and like I said, I put it in my lemon water in the morning. Switch to that as your staple salt, an easy, healthy thing you can do. The next thing I do is to make bulletproof pods for my coffee. So if you follow me on Instagram, you know that I love my bulletproof coffee in the morning. It just, honestly, I think it even tastes better at this point. I'm just so used to it. But to save time, so I'm not measuring out the cinnamon and the ghee and the brain octane, I like to make little pods that I then freeze, and then I pop them out. So they're like little discs. So in the morning, when I'm in the rush, trying to get to clinic, I just pop a pod in my coffee and I use my hand frother to blend it up. It's super easy. You're not getting a bunch of things out of the drawer. You're not measuring it all out. It's a one-stop shop, guys. This hack is perfect. My next one is a great way to make juice if you don't have a juicer. If you've watched a couple of my videos, again, you've seen me do this on Instagram too. And what I do is I blend everything in a blender. So I take all my greens, my kale, my lemon, my ginger, cucumber, all that great stuff, and I blend it, and then I run it through a nut milk bag that you would use to make almond milk, and I squeeze it out. Kind of like how you would make almond milk. And this is a great affordable way to make green juice at home. A nut milk bag will probably cost you about $10, $12, so it's a lot more affordable than like $160 or $200 juicer. And you probably get the same kind of benefits. You get pretty much the same amount of juice out of it. You just need to make sure you squeeze really hard. But again, it's a great affordable way to make your own kind of green juice or any kind of juice at home. My next hack is one for keeping your greens fresher longer. I don't know about you guys, but there are times where I buy a bag of kale or I buy like lettuce and it actually goes bad. And that's because it actually has moisture around it. You need to absorb that moisture. So what you do is you take a paper towel, or you can take a napkin, and you put it either in the bag or the container of your greens, and that will help absorb the moisture and help them stay fresher longer. My next hack, keeping with the trends of keeping things fresh, is keeping berries fresh. Because I don't know about you, I feel like berries stay for like a day or two if you buy them in the plastic which they come in, and then they're all moldy. So the great way to make them stay fresher longer is to put them into a mason jar. Pop them in, like when you get home, just wash them and then pop them in so they're ready to go and they'll stay fresh. My next hack is for your nut butter. So if you have those nut butters which separate, which like the oil goes to the top and the bottom, which is good because that way it doesn't have any other weird stuff in it. This naturally happens with a lot of the natural ones. You don't want to pour out the oil because you're losing a lot of the benefits, but then your almond butter is going to be really, really dry. So what you do is you store it flipped upside down. And what that does is that makes the oil go to the bottom, but it actually mixes in. So just store it upside down in your fridge or in your pantry, and that way the oil goes to the top, and when you flip it back over, the oil is now on the bottom. My next hack is to use stasher bags or these silicone bags for storage. I find that my avocados especially stay fresher longer and they don't go as brown as quick with these silicone bags. It's also better than using plastic because plastic, if you heard my hormone video, which I talk about the ways to balance your hormones, you know all about the dangers of plastic. So minimizing your exposure is always great, and these are reusable, great for the environment, and they keep your food fresher longer. I mean, what's better than that? My next hack is to use healthy websites that are like discounted products. So things like Thrive Market if you live in the States, or if you're from Canada, Natura Market, or Pure Feast. And then there's also iHerb, which I know a lot of you guys are international and I don't always have recommendations for where you can get stuff, but iHerb has ships to like 100 and something countries, so chances are they ship to yours. And they have a lot of like health foods like chia seeds and all that for a discounted rate. So there's ways that you can get these items that are affordable, or if you can't find them at your local grocery store, to get them shipped to you. My next tip is to steam your greens like spinach and kale. If you're like me, or if you've been following on my Instagram, you know that I've been trying to get 7 servings of greens a day. Now, a serving of leafy greens is 1 cup. So 1 cup raw. So if you do that like steamed, everything kind of wilts down. As you know, like you've seen the meme, like you cook a big bunch of spinach and then it turns into a smaller amount. Then I can actually eat more greens, because sometimes, you know, I get full of raw kale or raw spinach. So this is a great way to get more greens in for volume, is just to like steam. My next tip has to do with avocados. So it's kind of like a dual tip. So I'm gonna leave an image here about how to tell if your avocado is ripe, because I've been getting a lot of questions about it and it's really hard to explain in words. With the little knobby thing on the top is called, but you'll see the picture and you'll be able to decipher, even when you're buying them in the grocery store, whether they are soft. But if you happen to only have hard ones and you want to ripen them fast, you simply put them in the oven at 200 degrees Fahrenheit for 10 minutes. And then you have a ripe avocado. You don't want to do too high because you don't want to cook the avocado, but just warm enough where it ripens. This was a tip I shared over on Instagram for Tip Tuesday, and a lot of you loved it, so I wanted to bring it here. Side note, Tip Tuesday is a thing on my Instagram where I share tips, so make sure you follow on there so you see all of those. My next hack is how to make a really good, quick, healthy rosé sauce. And I do this like almost a couple times a week, if not 3 times a week, because it's so easy. So if you have your tomato sauce and you want to make a nice, rich, decadent, creamy sauce, but you want to be dairy-free because, you know, you don't want cream or dairy in your stuff, I use either coconut milk, or if I have cashew cream cheese in the fridge, I put a couple spoonfuls of that, stir it in, and then the tomato sauce gets nice and creamy, and it feels like you're kind of having like a rosé or ala vodka sauce, and it's so good, and it makes more fun than just a tomato sauce. I don't know about you, but like a rosé sauce is my favorite type of like a tomato or pasta sauce. So this hack is like key for me. My next hack is to start your meals with a salad. So let's say you want to have pizza, you want to have something indulgent. I always try to get my patients to get away from the mindset of that you're subtracting something. So let's just try adding something in. So just start your meal with a salad. That way you're getting in your vitamins, your minerals, your nutrients. And then if you want to have your pizza or whatever, that comes second. And at least that way you're getting all the nutrients in, and you're doing it first too. So you're not full yet. So it helps to partly fill you up because of the raw vegetables. But then you're not like getting deprived, or you're feeling like you're, I don't know, suffering or something like that. So start your meals with greens or salad and get those veggies in accompaniment. So think about it as adding instead of subtracting. My next hack is to wrap your proteins in lettuce. So a lot of the time when I'm having my bunless burgers, which, not gonna lie, I have bunless burgers pretty much every Saturday night for a while now. I use lettuce buns. Sometimes I'll use a gluten-free, but sometimes I just want a lettuce bun, and it's a great way to kind of wrap around your protein. If you're going gluten-free and you're struggling, or you just wanna have like a lower carb, grain-free diet, it's one of the things I've been doing for years and years and years. I specifically get the butter lettuce. I feel like that has more flavor than your iceberg lettuce, but isn't quite as bitter as a collard wrap. So if you're not a big fan of kale and collard, which is a bit bitter, butter lettuce is kind of the way to go. Butter lettuce is also great for like tacos, like a taco shell. My next hack is to use cauliflower in place of a lot of grains and gluten grains. If you guys seen, I've made cauliflower gnocchi, cauliflower bread, cauliflower hummus. I mean, there's pretty much nothing cauliflower can't do. And the great thing about cauliflower is that it's actually loaded with choline. And choline is amazing for your brain, concentration, and not having any brain fog. So the cauliflower trend is one I love because cauliflower is so good and is actually a great way to sneak in more veggies. I even do cauliflower instead of ice cubes in a smoothie. Again, more veggies. This taste isn't as overpowering as some of the other veggies, and it's a great way to, you know, get your choline. My next hack is how to remove the skin from ginger super quick. So all you need is a spoon, you turn it upside down, and you scrape off the skin. This I find works a lot better than a knife. Not sure why, but this is definitely something that helps me peel ginger. My next tip has to do with lemons or making lemon water. So in order to get the most juice that I can out of a lemon, I like to roll it on like with my hand first. Now the key is you can't just roll it like without putting your weight on it. You need to really get on top of the lemon and put your weight into it and roll it. That way it releases the juices. A lot of you guys say you don't know how I can get so much juice out of my lemon when I'm squeezing it in my videos, but that's definitely how. Put your weight into it and roll it and you'll get a lot more juice. My next hack is to always keep a couple cans of coconut milk, the canned one I use in all my videos, in the fridge. And that's because when it separates, you get this nice thick part that can be used for so many different things. Like I said, I use it in my rosé sauce. You can make sour cream, you can make yogurt, you can make whipped cream, you can make a lot of different things. You make a chia pudding, like there's just so many things. Coconut milk is such a good basic pantry thing that I buy all the time, and I always keep a couple in my fridge because you don't want to run into a problem where you then need it to separate, because it does take about 12 to 24 hours for the thick part to separate from the other part. So always just throw a couple cans in your... My next hack is to massage your kale, not only to make it less bitter, but to make it easier to digest. So I do a squeeze of lemon and then a pinch of Himalayan salt, and I physically massage the kale. And this helps to break it down so it's A, not as bitter, and B, easier to digest. My next hack is to use frozen fruits and vegetables. I learned this recently, but I didn't know that frozen vegetables are already like pre-blanched or like they're cooked slightly. So if you actually defrost frozen vegetables, you'll notice that they're already soft. They're not fully hard like they would be if you bought like broccoli at the grocery store. So you don't need to recook them. For a while there, I was like defrosting cauliflower, like using frozen cauliflower and cooking it and then refreezing it for smoothies. But then I learned that it's actually already kind of pre-cooked. My next hack is to stick to the dirty dozen, mainly if you're going to be buying organic, to save some money. So you don't need to buy everything organic. Most things with a shell, you don't need to buy organic. So like a banana has like a shell kind of on the outside, you don't need to buy organic. And then all those ones that are on the dirty dozen, which I will leave the list down below, those you want to buy organic. So apples, peaches, berries are on there, kale, all those things are more important to buy organic because they have shown that they have more pesticides on them. My next hack is to use spices to really kick up and flavor your food. I feel like a lot of people don't use spices and they don't feel like their healthy food might be like bland or boring, but there's so much limitless possibilities with spices. My favorite ones are probably ginger, cinnamon, and garlic, but you can use rosemary. Experiment with cardamom, experiment with curry powders and paprika and turmeric, and just find ones that you like and that can just spice up your food. And a lot of them actually have so many benefits and have more benefits dried than fresh. So for example, rosemary is really good dried, and a lot of the benefits you'll get more for the amount in rosemary dried than you would in fresh. My next hack is to add little fiber boosts to your meals in order to help fill you up and also keep you regular. So that could be anything from sprinkling some chia seeds on your toast or your oatmeal or your porridge, or hemp seeds in your salad, or flax in your smoothies. And all these little additions of fiber are gonna help fill you up and also help with metabolism and healthy weight. And they're really little easy things you can do. You just sprinkle it on whatever you're eating. Just a little dose of fiber is gonna go a long way. And my last hack is to use apple cider vinegar. If you guys followed along with Bloat Week last week on my Instagram, where I was doing a bunch of tips all week long for bloating, which if you missed are saved under the gut health highlight on my profile, apple cider vinegar, a tablespoon, 15 to 20 minutes before meals is a great hack to improve digestion. It's also great in the morning in your lemon water too. I like to put in a couple capfuls then just to help kickstart my digestion in the morning. It also helps keep you regular. It helps with GERD. It helps with reflux. So it's a great all-around inexpensive, affordable thing that you can do for your digestion. So I hope you guys enjoyed these healthy hacks and you learned something new and that you implement some of them. Let me know what other kind of like informational videos you'd like to see. I'm full of lots more tips, believe me. Yeah, I hope you guys are all having a great day. Thanks for watching this video. Thank you for your support, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.